Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone watching. I am your host, the Report of the Week. I was kind of thinking about what video I wanted to do this afternoon. It's certainly a little bit of a breezy day. I wouldn't go as far as to say windy, just a little bit of a breeze, because I know there was that crazy nor'easter in the northeast, and this is just a little bit of a breeze. A little chill in the air, but it's good enough to film something anyway. But I was sitting here and I was thinking about what to film. And I know one popular topic that comes up a lot is kind of the, who, what, when, where, why, how, why once again, why even more. When it comes to this channel, people, they're sometimes curious as to why I do this, or the backstory thereof, or well, why does he do this? Why does he do that? What is this? What is that? Etc., etc. And every so often I try to address those questions in a video or two, like the why I drink why I drink Starbucks water, why I wear suits every day video, and so on and so forth. And I try to clear up these little questions that sometimes I get a lot in the comments or the messages or the emails, so on and so forth. And when it comes down to this channel, you can find a lot on it. Nowadays it really has a variety of stuff, where if you want to see me do more serious heart-to-heart talk on something, you could find videos where I do that. If you want to have a little bit of laughter and a joke, you could find videos for that. If you want to listen to my radio show where you could hear some tunes and talk, you can get that. If you want to hear a podcast of just talk, you can hear that too. But I think what this channel is at least most well known for is its food reviews, right? You want to hear me critique, criticize, or praise one of the biggest releases in fast food nowadays, you could usually find a video about that on this channel. And it's something that I've been doing really for close to 7 years now. And a lot of people raise the question, Review Bro, why do you do the food reviews? I mean, what led you to doing this? What kind of got you to start doing these food reviews? And why do you continue to do the food reviews? What's the backstory behind it? Why do you review food? Why don't you review motorcycles on this channel? Why don't you just go and do a review series where you go to all the public pools in the area and kind of take a pitcher of water out of them and just review that instead? Why do you review food, let alone fast food? What's the logic and rationale behind it? What sparked that? And that's a question that I've gotten quite a bit, and I've thought about addressing here and there, but I've decided I'm going to kind of make a little video on that today. Now, I wish I could have an extravagant tale to tell you. I wish I could tell you something like, well, I was a 2-time professional chef for 45 years, and ever since the local gig at the steakhouse didn't work out, I kind of got hard up, and I needed to do something else, so I started reviewing fast food on. I'm afraid I don't have a story as wonderful as that to say, but here's my tale when it comes down to that. So I started the channel out 7 years ago, as of February 2011, started it 7 years ago. And for the first year of the channel, really from February 2011 to December 2011, I reviewed energy drinks exclusively. And that I could go on and on about. But in short, I decided to do energy drinks because I was genuinely curious about what they tasted like, how they were, what their effectiveness was, etc. And it was a genuine curiosity of mine which I wished to fulfill. And it ended up becoming kind of a pastime and a hobby and something to do for fun on this YouTube channel. So, where did the transition really come from energy drinks to food? Because of course you can kind of tie them together, right? You can say, well, food and drink, but not everyone drinks energy drinks, It's not like everyone, replaced water with Monster energy drink or anything, There's a certain crowd that drinks energy drinks, and that's it. The reason why I kind of branched out into doing these food reviews Started in very late December of 2011. It was because I had kind of an idea. I wanted to expand the channel, not really for the views at that point, because you gotta remember, in 2011 the channel was very small. Very, very small. Maybe it had 100 subscribers and maybe 1-2 dozen regular viewers, and that was it. But I kind of wanted to expand the channel for my own curiosity. Because, at the time I had been reviewing energy drinks for almost, 100 videos. So I was getting very familiar with it. I kind of knew what these drinks tasted like. I knew what those drinks tasted like. I knew that, the 5-hour energy drink type beverages were like this, and the Monster type drinks are like that, and Red Bull was like this, and so on and so forth. I was just getting very, very familiar in terms of energy drinks. And I kind of wanted to change things up out of my own curiosity, because I was really answering my own questions when it came down to what energy drinks tasted like. So I said to myself, how about I start a series reviewing food? How about I just try to broaden those horizons? Maybe it won't work out, right? Maybe I'll try it and I'll say, this isn't for me, I'm not a fan of it, and I'll just go back to energy drinks full time. But I said, maybe I'll just give it a shot and broaden my horizons and try out reviewing food. And so I did. In December of 2011, I started a review series titled Running on Empty, in which I were to really peruse through the entire McDonald's menu at the time, review each item, and kind of try to find out which McDonald's item was the best. And that's what I did. Through a lot of late 2011, early 2012, I started doing these food reviews of McDonald's. And sure enough, I enjoyed it quite a bit. Just like the energy drink reviews, where I had this idea. I wasn't really sure how well it was going to go over initially, but I had that idea, I had that curiosity, and I decided to employ that curiosity. Try it out, see if it floats, if it sinks, what my own thoughts and views on it are, how I feel doing it. And I tried that out with food. And sure enough, I just set it up in front of the camera. I would get whatever, a burger, a quarter pounder, chicken select, chicken nuggets, whatever it was from McDonald's. Set it up in front of the camera. Open it up, eat it, give a little assessment, and, go on to the next. And that's how I started reviewing the food. And after I cleared through the McDonald's menu, it was in a much similar way to the energy drinks, where I kind of realized, I guess you can say, I started this out as a bit of a test, a bit of a curiosity, as something that I was doing because I was personally curious about. I kind of wanted to expand things with the channel and start moving it in a certain way. But after I had kind of reached that goal of getting through the McDonald's menu, kind of sat there and I was thinking, well, what next? And I took a little bit of a break from the Running on Empty series, went back to energy drinks for a while. But finally, in late 2012, the idea came about again to resurrect the Running on Empty series, and this time, instead of just focusing on the McDonald's menu only, just start reviewing random foods. I said, why do I have to limit myself to reviewing McDonald's? Review anything you want. Review frozen pizza, review Wendy's, review anything. And from there, over the years, I just started making that really the signature series of the channel for many, many years. And through that, really, that's how it became what it is today. For a while, up until around mid-2015, I'd say, the Running on Empty series was focused mainly on like frozen foods and baked goods and little snacks from the supermarket. Then it changed to more mainstream fast food and major releases, and that's where it stayed today. And nowadays, I try to make it a point to review the main, the main big releases from a lot of these fast food places, like the McDonald's Szechuan sauce, the Burger King Cheesy Tots, so on and so forth. As a matter of fact, coming up this Thursday, I'm going to be trying out a new item from Taco Bell. Should all go well, so you could stay tuned for that if you want to see a food review. But really, that's how this series emerged, and that's how it came to be. And that kind of got me thinking, as I've been sitting here and recounting that story. if you want to do a YouTube channel, right? You want to do a YouTube channel, you want to start creating content, because I was also browsing around on Reddit. There's a subreddit for people who are aspiring to make YouTube videos. And that kind of got me thinking about what I did with this channel, what other people are kind of doing with theirs, or might have apprehensions with, or whatever. I say this a lot, and it's a point that I really just want to drive home and just keep driving home. If you have an idea for a YouTube channel or a video series or something you want to do on YouTube, and you really feel impassioned about it, you feel like this is something that I want to do, something that I want to kind of dip that toe in, give a shot, give a chance, I say go for it. That's exactly what I did when it came down to making this channel, starting it out with those energy drinks, and then moving to the food reviews. I had these ideas. It was something that I felt a genuine curiosity and interest in, and kind of felt that drive and passion for, and something that I decided, you know what, I'm going to try it out. I know I might have my apprehensions and my worries and my fears about it, but I'm going to try it out. I'm going to give it a shot. And here's the beautiful thing with YouTube. You can make a video, you can try to do something out, you could do a review, you could do a tutorial, you can just do a random video, a random talk, a comedy video, a gaming video, whatever. And the beautiful thing about it is, you know what? If you tried it and you realize, you know, I tried it and I'm just not feeling it, you have the ability to just delete the videos, get yourself a clean slate, and just start over should you wish, if that's the thing that you decided, you know what, I don't want to do it. But if you did it, and you found that niche, you kind of dipped that toe in the water and you realized, hey, I'm having fun doing this, you know, give yourself a little pat on the back. That's what I have to say. That's what I started when I really made this channel years ago of the energy drink reviews. It wasn't something that I was totally sure about at first. You know, I had that idea, that curiosity, but the moment I employed it, I knew I enjoyed doing this, and this is something that I'm going to keep doing for the long run because I was enjoying it, having a lot of fun with it, and I still am to this very day, many years in the future now. But that's just my own 2 cents and my own, my own remarks on that matter. But my final point, if you have an idea on YouTube, and you might be thinking all the what ifs, well, what if I do this? What if I do that? Etc., etc. Just remember this. If you don't have any videos out there in the first place, and you never employ that idea to begin with, you'll never know what the future holds for it. I say if you have that inspiration, that motivation, give it a shot, give it a chance. You never know what may come of it. On a final note, if you check the description below, if you find yourself a listener of the VORW radio show, I'm trying to do some work in terms of analytics and listener thoughts and opinions. I've composed an anonymous survey that could be answered in such a short period of time, between 1 and 5 minutes at most. But give it a look. It's just a way to kind of get your thoughts on the show, how you listen, how often you listen, and all that stuff. But please give it a shot if you're interested in. It'd be a major help to me because I spend a lot of time each week working on this VORW show, and kind of doing these surveys puts things into perspective and kind of gives me a little benchmark in terms of seeing where this show stands and what really people like about it, what they don't like, what's being listened to, and what can be improved upon. Anyway, I'll see you again this Thursday, coming up with a new radio show and also a new food review, so stay tuned for that. And until then, thank you for watching, take care, I'm your host, the Report of the Week.